Hey guys, a little quick face lather today. I'm going to have this guy soaking in some water. My water at this location is hard and I use tepid water. Here's my timeless open comb with the 0.68 gap stainless steel. It's normally too aggressive for me, but with this old blade, it's just right. Here's my Nacet. And I just finished 190 shaves when I completed this 10 section right here. I think in this empty spot next to the T, I'm going to start my next decade of shaves. And when that's complete, it'll be a 200 use blade and I'll be at or near the end of August. How about that? All right. With the brush soaking, let's look. Here's the soap. It's gradually, I've never seen a soap get low this quickly, not because it's bad, but because I normally switch back. And so it's going to take me a long time before I wear all my soaps down to where I start seeing them get this low. And it's still not low, but I'm watching it. I'm able to see it wear. All right, so let me throw a little water on my face. I think I've got a pretty good face lathering technique down with this brush and this soap. This time, I'm going to try 7 seconds of loading. 10 seconds is what I've been doing lately with my bowl lathers and maybe even a face lather or two. And and it's been plenty. So let's just see what happens with 7. I do have my lather bowl here, but I'm not going to use it, but it does have some water in it. And that's for when I need to hydrate my brush, add some water to my face. All right, I'm pretty happy with the face lathering technique. I'm just going to give it a couple of shakes so that I don't get quite so much overflow on the soap here. So 7 seconds, yeah, that's what I said. And go, there we go. Watching my clock here. 6, 7, boop. There we go. All right. That was not very much. Let's just see what happens, huh? I'm going to hold the brush in one hand while I rinse the puck of soap. The outer edge of the soap there, of the water. All right. Doesn't look like too much, does it? Let's see what happens. "10 seconds. Yesterday gave me enough lather for 5 passes with a bowl lather. I really don't want to see these little guys fling off because I just think I'm going to run out of soap. I'll probably not. I mean, look at already what's going on here. I don't want to watch these big clods that are forming. Soft brush, maybe a 3 or a 4 on a 10 scale of softness. Very comfortable, but also nice and scrubby. No scritch or anything like that. Some people may call it just a little floppy, but I don't think so. All right, look at this. Let's see. I want to give that first lather some time to work on my hairs and to mature the lather and just make sure it's mixed right. All right, come on now. All right, let's try that out. And I'm gonna try to put this back on the brush. And let's show you the blade. Now that we're going to do 191 uses. There's the Nacet, and the X that marks the blade is right up there, or the part of it. like to hear that popping noise when you tighten it down. So I've got wet hands, okay? So with this kind of razor, I always tighten it holding the ends like that for safety, but even that's a little slippery with wet hands. So you may want to dry your hands or just take appropriate care. All right. And here we go. Yeah, that feels nice. A little less than 24 hours I've been having to shave late in the day instead of the early morning. And so then I'm not able to make my posts and stuff when I normally do. These face lathers sometimes tend to dry out toward the end just because they thin out a little bit, not quite as rich as the first pass. It's one of the reasons I like bowl lathering, but I just want to be a little fast today. Just kind of a partial rinse. Rehydrate my face a little bit. And I'm probably going to need to add water to my brush, and so that's why that lather bowl has water in it, so I can dip the tips. If you have a clean sink on a regular basis, that's where you may want to keep a little bit of water. It sure is convenient. So just a quick dip. Super convenient. I used to not like that idea because I didn't like the idea of my soap being wasted, as some of it might be pulled off of the brush into the bowl. But I think I've pretty much changed my mind about that. Just not enough to matter. And that water was enough to bring me back to a non-dry lather. Pass feels good. I don't do against the grain because most of my skin can't handle it, even with a young sharp blade, much less with an older blade like this one. So what I do is 2 cross grain passes for pass number 2 and 3. Nice pass. Another quick rinse. Again, just a quick half rinse. And let's see if 7 seconds does the job. Looks like it will. How about that? It's not luxurious, but it's there. You don't need, you can go in and retrieve some of the lather like that. You just need a thin film on your face. And this is it's not a super creamy lather even under the best conditions. However, it does lay down a nice protective layer. You know, you don't have to be all viscous and milk cream-like to do that. And this does its job really well. So, looks like I'm going to have enough to do the job. But with face loading, face lathering, I don't think I want to go less than 7 seconds. I may go a touch less with bowl lathering, because you just don't use up, you don't have the disproportionate soap use, where that first pass is all rich and nice and this last one's on the thin side. And here's the issue. It's not like I'm skimping just to save money and not use up as much soap. If you have too much soap on your brush, then that first pass can sometimes be a little drying and too wet, too dry, and not be able to give you that slickness that you need. And so if you use more soap, and some people say load soap like you hate it, and maybe that's good advice for certain people or certain types of like hard soaps or something like that you haven't pre-soaked. But if you load twice as much soap that you really need, then you're going to have to add twice as much water, or you will end up with a soap that's drier than you really want. So loading too much soap is sometimes a bad thing. Rinse. And there we go. We've got a pretty good shave. Several hairs here. My trouble spot have some length on them, but I don't care. I'm getting out of here. Here's how much soap I have left. So in terms of soak economy with this particular base, it looks like 7 seconds is a good load time if you've used the soap the previous day, and so it's not super dried out. It's still got a little moisture left on the soap, and so it looks like that works just fine. It feels a little skimpy at the end, but it's enough to do the job, and there was enough on there to lay down a small layer if I did want to do a touch-up. Now while I'm talking, let me go ahead and open up the post-shave Midnight Stag aftershave, and I'm using Midnight Stag all month because of the challenge from Stephen Joyner from Dogwood Handcrafts. He's a good guy and a good brush maker. He makes the handles and will put a maggored knot on there for you, or we'll send it off to somebody like Declaration Grooming to have them knotted up for you. And that is definitely a legendary name in the shaving world. Making great brushes right now. We're good. No irritation. I didn't even really have any stinging during the alcohol application phase. Shave looks good, feels good. No irritation. So this, I don't even think this blade's going to quit at 200. I really don't. So how about that? So as usual, I'm going to loosen this up to get some airflow. Rinse it out just to get any soap or hair that's in there. Shake it out. Another reason not to use a lather that's too dry is because a nice thin lather, a well hydrated lather, is easy to clean and just rinse away from your tools, from your hardware, you leaving behind less in terms of deposits and gunk. So I think we're good. Put a new dot on the envelope now. We're at 191, cruising toward the end of Austere August. So there we go. Face lather. So with this brush and this base, I'm really happy with my face lathering abilities. And if 10 seconds might be what I usually do. I don't like the way it makes a mess, but it is fast. It can be fast once you kind of learn how to do everything. For the third pass, I did not have to dip in the water because I had so little soap left over that enough water that was there was already good for that, and it would have washed out my lather if I would have added more water. All right, well, there we go. Hope there was something here for you. A little face lathering, which is not my usual technique. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. You have a good day.